listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Alright, so let's look at our studio. So now Kurt, what's the purpose of inbound integration, right? I mean the later on processing you. Can you know how to do it right? It was just the difference in the way of fetching the information. So either we are getting from input file or we are getting from report. It's just that way. Right. So, but how do you further process it? I mean, you get some data from your input file, but how do you process it? Getting my point? Right. So you need to use Workday Web Services to you upload the data to Workday. And where can you see the Workday Web Services? So in your studio, you have the Schema Explorer. Okay, make sure that your connection is connected. Okay, so you have OK, and then in Schema Explorer, you have to come and click to this button, Add Workday Web Services. And then add any web services you want to add. So first you have to select the domain. For example, we were to look as per our syllabus. We were to look on web services from time and absence management. So you're going to look at the absence management. Click on Finish. After opening it, here are all the web services available in time and absence domain. So first we would like to either we can use a request leave of absence or we can use the enter time of any we can use. So let's go with enter time of. Okay, so whichever web service you want to test, you right click on it. You go for open SAP. So pre-wrapped request in web service register. Okay, then I'm going to minimize this window for now because for web service tester, you don't need to use the property window. Okay. So here is the full web service request. Okay, and if your Cloud Explorer connection is not established, okay. If the connection has not been established, you will not be able to see this location. Okay, this location is very important. So this brings the name of my tenant right. So this is important. Okay, now see. So how do we add this? How do we add this? I know we go to the schema and then we add the web service before that. We have to, yeah. Okay, we go to the Schema Explorer. Go to Add Workday Web Services from here. Select the domain. In my case, I selected Absence. Click on Finish. Okay, after that you will have Absence Management like this here. Then Disband Alert. Okay, then use the web service you want to use. Okay, then whichever web service you want to test, click on right click, click on Open. So prepped request in Web Service Tester. Okay, and this will open. Then I minimize my property window because I don't need it. So I only want to look at this web service now. Make sense or any question again? Yeah, no good. Yeah. Uh, so I'm going to open my Notepad Test Plus. Okay then. I can copy and paste the request here. So basically when you will be in your organization and you will be working as a Workday implementer. So you can always ask your functional counterpart to show you the EIB equivalent of this. Okay, for every web service there is an inbound EIB available. So how do they do that in EIB basically? So they have an Excel spreadsheet to load. Have you worked on inbound EIB? Have you ever seen an inbound EIB? Yeah. Yeah, so you know that there is an Excel sheet, right? Right. So whatever is the name of the header in that spreadsheet, that is something which is present as XML tag in web service. Okay. Let me show you. I have myself never worked on inbound DIBs because those are what functional people take care of. So let's right? So I'm seeing web service spreadsheet template. Now I have to tell the web service operation. It was enter time of write, or we can select here absence management. Okay, this is really slow today. Enter time of web service, I click next. Template model next. This is a new method of service operation. So even this EIB will do exactly the same thing what we will do through the Workday Studio. Web Service Tester. Oh, but so if I run this EIB, it will give me a web service template, right? So I actually don't know much, but I've seen my functional people doing like this. You can try. I'm not sure if it's going to generate a template or not because we are integration guys. So we usually look at the XML version. Okay, I think create EIB. I think it's template model or something. So this is basically to mimic the use of my web service. Okay. Okay, but if you can look at the template, or maybe I will learn from my functional person and tell you and show you the template. What you will see is that in the template, these are exact same parameters. So you ask a functional guy, okay, what value should I need to provide here? What value should I need to provide here? And they are going to tell you that I have this Workday of Service version already stored here. So I can go to absence management and time off. This is the community page. So you will not be able to access it for now. Okay, unless you are part of some organization. This is a community page and you require to be an organization to look at this page. Okay. So this is basically the question. This is how response is going to look like. And this will open the exact same visual which we just saw. Okay. Okay, so I am going to look at each element. Okay. So this is business process parameters. Okay, do I see business process parameters at us first? Yes. So this is how it will be portrayed here on the Workday community page now. This is cardinality 0 to 1. Okay, what does this mean? 0 means minimum occurrence. 1 means maximum occurrence. Okay, the value at left hand side is minimum occurrence. The value at right hand side is maximum occurrence. This means that this is not compulsory. Okay, if you are using this, you cannot use it more than once. But if you are not using it, it's fine. So I can basically remove it from my. Okay, after this, enter time of data. It's 1:1, that is, it is mandatory to use it. Minimum occurrence of this is 1 and maximum is also 1. So I have to make sure that enter time of data is only once present in my web service. Okay, after that I will click on enter time of data. Then it will tell me the elements inside. Enter time of data. Okay, turn off runtime calculation with time of approval. Okay, now read the description. Turn on this flag if you want to ignore the tenant setup for runtime calculation with time of approval for the time of request. Okay, now this means that there is some functional validation present in the tenant. So let's try to show you that. So let's open Logomini. So I think this is me only who has put her on leave. So how you do it functionally is you go to action. Okay, you go to time and leave, you go to enter time of write. Okay. So then you see this calendar. Okay, what you can say. Her whole month calendar. Okay, this is 12th. Right. Right, today is 12th. So you can click on this. You can say 1 day request time off. Let's say I put here 16. Okay. Now ideally it's not possible, right? Right. Okay, why is there no type today? Let's change. Okay, and it keeps on hanging. So I did remember. I put this worker on the somewhere. Yeah, this was me. So I was able to do it then. Maybe okay. Hold on. I remove these vacations. I think I have to put -8. I think they work like that. Okay, it got removed, right? So let's remove this one also. Okay, so let's try to enter time off now. Okay, now I can see. So basically, because I think she was someone. Yeah, so basically, someone would have used all the vacations on her calendar, which is why I was not able to see any okay. So if I use vacation and I say daily quantity 16, let's try. So was able to enter 16 hours, or I think it got corrected to 1. Okay, it got changed to the day quantity 1 day. Yeah, right. It did not let me add 16 hours, so that's like one of a functional validation. Okay. So my first parameter here, not here. So this is, do you want to ignore the tenant setup? So we will send no right because we want to follow the same procedure about our functional guy would have followed. Or maybe we will do, let's say turn off true. Okay, let's keep runtime of validation. Let's keep it true by default, whatever the value is. Okay, and then we have to give the worker reference. Okay, but here the worker reference is the type is contingent worker ID. Yeah, are we using contingent worker ID? Okay, we are going to apply leave for Logan McNeil. Is Logan McNeil regular employee or contingent worker ID? She is a regular employee. She is regular employee, right? So what do we have to use? Okay, C for worker object. If I clicked on it, these are the types I can use. Either I can use contingent worker ID or I can use employee ID. Okay, so I'm going to use employee ID. BM, we're going to need employee ID for Logan. So it's 9:51. Then, am I right? 10. Okay. What else do we need? It says enter time of entry data, time of entry ID. So basically this, let's read about it. What does this mean? So this is how basically we create a request for a web service we have never worked on before. Enter time of data worker reference. enter time of entry data. So there can be multiple. 1 to star means 1 is at required and they can be multiple. Okay, time of entry, ID and ID value for the time of entry record. This is to be added. This ID can be used to look up time of entry record for adjustments. Basically, this is this. What they want to see is duplicate ID values are not allowed. So basically, what they want to say is this should be the reference ID of the entry you create. Okay? So see right now when we put Logan McNeil on leave. So there should be a reference ID of that event. We did. See, I am going to find out. Go to find the absence calendar. Where can I see the calendar? Okay, so let's go to view time off. So 01/30, 20 Joes 2021 have anywhere. So I think it's 12. Here. No, why don't I see 12/4, 12/3? We entered, sorry. When? What was the date when we entered? We entered 13. Right? No, okay. I entered on December, her leave. Right? I ended on December, right? December 1. So this is, I was not getting it. So if I click on it, if I go to its action, not this one actually, okay, it's working very, very slow. So the date is Tuesday, December 1, or where I can see is go to worker history. Okay, so this is when I entered leave, right? Initiated on note today's one time. No. So this is actually not complete. Right now this is in Lamel Lane. When did we add? It's 2020 right effective date. Yes, so okay, it's 1 and 14 here. Actually, this is the event. Okay, so definitely this events has some reference ID in Workday, right? So if I go to integration IDs, this is a reference ID. Okay, I can add. So whatever I want to put reference ID for my event, I can add there. Okay, so you can say when Kurt test time off. Okay, and when do we want to enter the time off? So let's enter for 4020, December and 022. Okay, so time and end time. Okay, let's read time of entry. ID date request is time of reference, so this is what we can add. Where do we have these tags? Enter time of entry data. Let's look at it. Enter time of entry data. Request. So we have to put date, we have to put units and time, and all is not mandatory, right? Okay, right to start. Time and time not required. Requested is the unit. So we will say it either 8 hours or 1 day, whatever. Okay, now that depends on the functional configuration, right? If it does not work with it, we will go with 1 day. Okay. Or I think the unit is in hours, I guess. So time of type reference. Time of type. Reference means which time of we want to use. Okay, yes, so we want to provide the vacation, right? Right time is vacation, so we will have to check the reference ID. So we will go to view reference ID. We will say time of type, right? So vacation, what is the reference ID? Vacation hours, so we will copy this. Or what we can do is we can try for floating holiday. Right? Let's try for this one. If you will have an error, then we will change. So I'm gonna put time of type reference as here, then time of reference, time of entry ID, and time of reference. I am not sure what is different. Time of reference a reference to an existing time of absence. Tables cannot be you or there is not eligible time off. Okay, this is if we are. If you want to relate them to an existing time off, so no. Because we are creating a new deleted absence. Table reference is not compulsory. Deleted position reference is not compulsory. Deleted time of reason reference is not compulsory. So delete it. So in the end, we are left with this only. You want to add any comment or no? I don't do add any comment, or let's keep any comment through integration. So absence is your one, not mandatory position. Your one, not mandatory time of reason. Reference meant not mandatory comment. Again, not mandatory, but like we are keeping the comment. Okay, so this is how you create a request. So you see how long the request was and what we have done it to reduce it to right. So let's delete all this. Let's put this. Let's try and run it. Okay. Worker is not eligible for this time of right. Yeah, we wanted to see this data. You wanted to see this error. Okay, yeah, because this is how you will know that this is a functional validation. Okay, when I was trying to put vacation for Logan, I was only getting vacation hours. So that means these holidays are not present for Logan, right? So let's change the reference ID to vacation hours. Run it. Okay. Worker is not eligible for this time upon this date. It's not eligible on this date. Let's add it to last 20. No, I think okay. Oh, it works. Requested. Let's put 1. I think this is because it is going up. Worker is not eligible for this time of on this date. Again, this is an time of type reference. Oh, time of type ID. Oh, we have to look at this. You have to use this time of type ID. I think this is already used location. So vacation are time of type reference to question 120. Let's do this. False worker is not eligible. Let's do runtime operation false this. Worker is not eligible for this time upon this date. So let's try and remove again any leave on worker, or maybe we can change the worker ID. Let's try and think of any other worker. Maybe we can. This particular employee, she's also on leave. Grade 207. Somebody has put all of them on leave. This worker is also not eligible for this time of grade. So I remember I checked out this web service around a month ago. It was working. Let's try to enter time off. Let's see which one is available for this worker. Let's give me a worker, worker John, who is, I hope, not only the OK. Someone has really played with all the data. Let's try to enter timer from front end. Let's see what's happening. So this is a functional validation that this is not letting this worker for that time off. So from integration point of view, we are quite done. But let's try and see why this is not happening. So we are saying 20th. time of type CL worker is not eligible on this date. And then there is +6. Okay, let's see what types are available for this guy. Okay, there are 2 vacation days actually, Yeah, so let's see. The dates are current, including this request. Okay, so it's giving an error here also. That's why we are getting an error there. So let's try to enter on December 1 for this guy. So December 1 is getting done. This is approved. Let's remove it. Remove this sum comment. Sum it. Let's try December 1. Still worker is not eligible on this date. So this is turn of runtime. Calculation cannot be true if the runtime of approval is false. Let's keep this one as false, but why? Okay, let's see the ID. This is currently set up for die-catch employees, so ID is back to actually. And even this is type is time of code. I don't know, someone has fiddled with the functional integrity of time and absence. Okay, so this is now we have different error. Write inverted instance for time of type. Yeah. That is not a valid value. Yeah, because this is the one they are using. So how about I use the Workday ID instead of this time of type reference? We can use bit, so let's use the word. I don't know why this is happening, because last time I tried it, it was working fine for me. Okay. Valid instance. Let's try it on day 2 because we have already. I think it exists. Okay, invalid instance for time of type. That is strange. So what if I try to enter the second time of one day? Request type of vacation days, daily quantity 1. Yes, someone has played with this because usually this is not the type we use. Invalid instance for time of type A. What is that $1.06? Usually it should give me some result, but I'm not sure. What is this? So someone has played around it. Let me try what works for me usually. So I have this web service already working for me. Let's see if this is working or not. Or I think I will have to reach out to functional team to correct some configuration. So this is request leave of absence. Let's schema request leave of absence open. So it's gonna be almost similar like this. Okay, I'm gonna prepare that equation in front of you. So it's quite huge for now, and this is what it becomes. So what I've used here, right? So this is my envelope. This is autocomplete, true then. Comment data, otherwise null. So let's remove this choose. Run now business process parameters. Request leave of absent 30 value of employee ID. We will put employee ID on our own leave request data. We have to enter request leave of absence ID. You see leave ID here. Because you have an ID, so it's going to be reference ID only. Anchor test. Correction. We don't have correction. Your first leave of absence type ID, we have to give the reason here. Leave of absence type. Even if this does not work, then that means something is wrong with the configuration. So you use a task place worker on leave for request, leave of absence. Okay. So first day of work. What we are going to assume top 3, right? So let's put elephant is here 3. Don't it? Okay, now leave type. Medically. So let's open this in the largest 11, 10, 20, 20. Let's see the date. 11/10/3 is Tuesday. 11/10 is Tuesday. Good. Submit. So basically, she would be her manager. So she would have to. But any choice. We only want to leave of leave type ID. Want to see the integration ID. Before absence type ID leave of sub 6 and 7 cent. So this is what we will have to use here. And we have to use a reason. But I don't see we'll use a reason here. So let's proxy and let's cancel this leave too slow, yeah. Silence. 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 Stop proxy. Okay. Okay, so let's try. By putting this on a comment, but this is mandatory. I remember. Not sure why we didn't have to use any reason here. Error ICE event on the aware traffic was here. Cat cat kipiro. Okay, it had to be made into a below zero before adding anywhere. 40 essential. I have to copy the request from envelope to envelope. Looks like this should work right. So send in progress. Oh, I didn't provide any employee ID. What was the employee ID? To do. This is. Okay, this what? Right. So if I will go and see this worker now, what was the worker? To worker John. John Chen, right. John Chen, yes. So now you can see this worker is on leave. If we go to his calendar. When did we add 3rd December, right? We cannot see here. Even though he's on the grid, let's check his absence calendar. I cannot even see his absence calendar. That's also strange. So let's place worker on leave. Okay, simple task. I cannot see that since calendar. Something is wrong here. So if I see this really, It's very strange. I have a Workday ID of an event and it's not getting searched. Yeah. So let's see this worker's history. Working Johnson. Not working anything further. This lever web, since date this is this one is the event, right? Below 3. So if we see the IDs, the banker test is here. Yeah, okay, this is worked. And if you see the Workday ID is here, and if I search this Workday ID, I'm not getting any results. How strange is that? That's really strange. I have never seen it. You cannot search something with the work daddy. Okay? Any which is so. You got my point right. My point was how to create a web service. Yeah, okay? And so whatever. Yeah, whatever the fields we want and then we don't want, and then we can make changes, right? And whatever the error we are getting, no, they can only be rectified with a functional guy. So maybe they have actually played with the time of entries, but this is the way we do it. Okay. Okay, however, I will see if I have some time and if I can check with the functional guy. Okay, but if not, I think we will have to deal with it. Okay. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.